everyone. Hi, I'm Sakshi Kesharwal and I'm a math expert in askIITians. So, today we'll be starting with your chapter that's ratio and proportion. So, ratio and proportion is a very nice chapter. And sometime what happened, we have learned about the unitary method and everything we have done. I think so. Unitary method has been taught a little bit in your class fifth grade. If not, then it's okay. But this is like things. But here, the ratios and proportions. Here, I have seen the students have not a very clear concept for the ratios and proportions. So please understand this concept very well, and it's very important because many things related to this topic. Here you will be studying ratios and proportion. Again, in the class 8 you will be studying direct and inverse proportion, so this will be the part of it, right? So if you have a good knowledge of direct and like ratios and proportion over here, and then in class grade 8 you will be like good to go. And then in some of the board you have time and work, right? And there's a chapter named time and work, right? So time and work is also related to this thing only. So everything is like interrelated. So this is for class 6th grade. It is a basics of it. So try to understand the basics very clearly, and then things you will be learning on later in your higher grades. Okay. So let's start with the class. Okay. So we'll be starting with ratios and proportion, right? Yeah. So ratios and proportion consist of a not a very good weightage, but yes, it's a consist of like 3 to 4 marks or 5 marks. It depends on your school to school, right? But ratio and proportion consist of a good weightage in your Olympiads, right? Because the questions can be made tougher from this chapter. So yes, it's a good chapter, and the questions related to this can be a really tough on it, right? So let's start with it. Okay, so let's start here. We'll be learning the topic that is introduction to ratios, equivalent ratios, and a word problem on it, right? Three things we'll be learning, and in the next lectures, we'll be learning about the proportions, right? So first lecture is for totally dedicated to ratios, and second lecture is dedicated to the proportion, right? So let's start. What is a ratio, right? So ratio, first I would like to show you a video that is like what is a ratio. Basically ratio means what, in a short, if I'll say that ratio means what, a comparison of two things. If I want to compare anything from you, right, first I'll give you a brief, then I'll just show you the video, then I think so you'll be able to relate the things more. Okay, so what are the ratio is basically the comparison, right? Comparison of the two objects, right? So comparison can be done with the two ways, right? If I say see, this is the pen, right? Can you see this pen? Yes, I can see that. You can see this pen. So if I say that this pen, like the length of this pen, and my height, right? So my height and the length of these pens are what? The lengths only we are comparing. So can I say that I am how many times this pen? I can say like this. Yes or not? If I say, let us suppose like the salary of mine and the salary of your parents, we can do the comparison. Like let us suppose your father is like 20-year experienced teacher, so he has a more like experienced person. So sorry, he's experienced person, so obviously his salary will be more than mine, right? So it's like this. You can do the comparison of the same thing. Like you can just compare the age, your age with your mother's age, right? Let us suppose your age is what, 10, around 10, and let us suppose your mother age is like around 40. So you are what, your mother is 4 times greater than what, you, or not? 4 times your age. Yeah, so there are two types of the ratio, like two types of the comparisons, right? First comparison is meant by the like how many times the other, that is known as what, basically the ratio. I think so this much is basically understandable. So let's see the video, what the video says. And because in the videos you see just so many things around it, so just see this and then we can just proceed it. Okay, let me just share my computer audio also. Yeah.
Let's have a fun and interesting session today. Now, what can you say about this number? You will read it as 1 divided by 2 or 1 by 2. Few of you must have also said that it's a fraction. So, what exactly is a fraction? Fraction is a number that represents a part of the whole.
Yeah.
Like half of one chocolate or half of an apple, right? Well, let me tell you one more interesting thing about this number. If you go to a picnic and 2 of your friends have to share one sandwich, then how much will one of the friends get? Half of the sandwich, right? And this is a fraction, like we said before. Or we can also say that one sandwich is shared between 2 people. That is 1 divided by 2 or 1:2. And numbers in this form are known as ratio. When we compare two things or find a quantitative relationship between two quantities, we get ratios. For example, 5 pencils are to be divided between two friends, Jim and Tim, in the ratio of 3:2 or 3/2. This means we will have to give 3 pencils to Jim and 2 pencils to Tim. Correct? But here, is 3/2 the fraction? No. Here, the fraction of pencils to Jim is 3/5 and to Tim is 2/5. That is, you have total 5 pencils and out of that, 3 pencils you have given to Jim. And out of 5 pencils, you have given 2 pencils to Tim. But in the ratio where it says 3:2 or 3/2, it means you have to give 3 pencils to Jim and 2 pencils to Tim. Ratio deals with 2 or more different things or quantities, whereas fraction deals with only one quantity. I hope this difference between ratio and fraction is clear now.
Yeah. So first of all, we have to understand, right, what is the difference between a ratio and fraction, right? So fraction is basically a one quantity and a part of a quantity, right? Let us suppose that this, she gave a very nice thing. So out of the 5 pencil, like if I say that Tim will have what fraction of the Tim will have, he will get 2/5 pencil. And the Jim will get what beta 3/5 pencil, right? He will be getting 3/5 pencil. Can you see my cursor? Yeah, you can see over here. Okay, you see that this is 3/5. Now, what do you mean by ratio? Ratio is basically he is getting what beta 3 pencils. That is 3 pencils were given to him. That is out of the 5 parts. What you do, it's like this. There are 5 pencils. So what you did, you divided into how many parts? 5 parts. So it is like 3 part will be getting to what beta Tim, Jim, and 2 parts will be getting to Tim. Let us suppose if there were 10 pencils. Let's take an example of 10 pencils, right? I cannot write it over here. Let us suppose you have a 10 pencils with you, right? And you want to divide in between Jim and Tim in the 3:2, right? So what are the how many pencils that Jim will get and the Tim will get, right? So out of the 10 pencils, you have to divide into how many parts? Beta 5 parts, right? So 10 parts, 10 pencil is going to divide into how many parts? 5 parts. So 1 part is equals to how much beta? 2 pencils, right? So Jim is going to get the 3 part of it. That is what it says. That fraction means 3 parts out of the 5, right? So Jim is going to get 3 parts and the Tim is going to get the 2 parts, right? So Jim is going to get how many pencils? Now he's going to get 6 pencils. And Tim is going to get how many pencils? 2 into 2 is that is what? 4 pencils. This is how this is being done, right? So basically the fractions are being taken as a part of a whole. And from this you understand, yes, Jim is getting 2 part and Tim is getting Jim is getting 3 part and Tim is getting what? 2 part, right? That is known as what basically. Here, if this is written, yes, this is in ratio, right? Over here, 3/2 is a fraction, right? Over here, 3/2, right? So let's start with this again.
Now, let's continue the same example of Jim and Tim. Now, suppose if there are 10 pencils to be divided between Jim and Tim in the ratio of 3:2. How will we do this? Now, Jim will get 3 pencils and Tim will get 2 pencils. We are still left with 5 pencils. So we'll repeat the procedure, that is 3 pencils to Jim and 2 pencils to Tim. Well, now in total Jim has 6 pencils and Tim has 4 pencils, or their ratios of pencils is 6:4 or 6/4. But wait, we were given that pencils should be divided in the ratio of 3:2. You can write this as, now we can cancel 2 and we will get 3/2 only, which means 3:2 is equal to 6:4. And this is known as proportion. When we scale up or scale down a ratio, that is multiply or divide the numerator and denominator by the same number, we will get ratios which are equivalent, that is equivalent ratios. And Proportion is nothing but equivalent ratios. Here, 6 is to 4 is a proportion of the ratio 3 is to 2. Similarly, for 12 is to 8, 3 is to 2 is also a proportion. Now we know what is ratios and what is proportion, right? And also the difference between them. Here, when we look at the same example, 3 is to 2 cannot be reduced any further, right? So when a ratio cannot be reduced any further, then it is known as the simplest form of ratio. However, the concept of ratio and proportion is not based on just two quantities. For example, if you are making a cake, then for that you will need 2 bowls of flour, 1 bowl of butter and 3 bowls of sugar. Here, the ratio of flour to butter to sugar can be written as 2 is to 1 is to 3. Here, the order plays a very important role. This can also be further extended to 4 quantities also, like you can add a bowl of chocolate too. Proportions are also used to find unknown quantities. For example, chocolates were divided in the ratio of 2 is to 3 between Alex and Nick. If Nick got 12 chocolates, then how many chocolates did Alex get? Here, we know the ratio of chocolates between Alex and Nick is 2 is to 3, and we can write this as, now we know Nick has got 12 chocolates, so let's put that value here. After cross multiplying, we get the value as 8, that is, Alex will have 8 chocolates. Proportions are majorly used in such cases where we have to find the unknown values. Well, I hope now you guys are completely clear that what is a fraction, what is a ratio, and what is proportion, and also the difference between all the three. Let's look at a little complicated problem before we end this session. If the age of Kim is twice the age of Tim, after 5 years, the ratio of age of Tim to Kim will be 2 is to 3. Find their present ages.
Okay, so we'll be doing this question. First, let's do some basic questions like what she said over here. It says that the age of the Kim is twice the age of the Tim, right? So can I say that the age of a Kim is twice the age of the Tim? So Tim upon Kim is equals to what, beta? Tim upon Kim is equals to what, beta? 2 by 1 or not? Yes, that is Tim is equals to what? Sorry, Kim K is equals to what? 2 times of Tim or not? That is Kim upon Tim is equals to what? 2 ratio 1, right? We can say this after 5 years. So I'll be telling you this question. Wait, later on I'll be explaining you this question by myself. Okay, so we'll keep this in the mind. Okay, so let's start with the what are the formula? Like I'll write the things, that's the definitions and everything. So let's begin with that. Okay, so basically what is in ratio? Ratio means what? Comparison of what, beta? 2 quantities, right? So what is in ratio? Ratio is what? Basically the comparison of what, beta? 2 quantities. So basically we'll write it down. Ratio is, just a second. Ratio is a comparison of the size of the sizes or measures of 2 or more quantity of the same kind, right? Of the same kind by division, right? Okay. Now, I'll give you one example. Like I want to compare the height of, like, let us suppose my name is Sakshi, right? I will not write SAK, I'll write ABC, right? Wait a minute. So let's do as we did only just for one thing. We can do the comparison of 3 person also, right? So can I say that there are person A, there's a person B, and there's a person C, right? And the age of the persons are like A is 5 years, right? B is like 10 years, right? Yes. And C is like 25 years, right? Yes. So what is the ratios of A, B, and C? Like what are the comparison? If you do the comparison, so you can just write this as A, you can write A, ratio B, ratio C can be written as what beta? 1. This is what you divided by what? 5. This you divided by what? 5. And this you divided by 5. So this will be what? 1 ratio 2 ratio what? 5. So A, B, C will be what beta? 1 ratio 2 ratio 5. Right. So A is like, C is what? 5 times of A. Right. B upon C, like B, the ratio of the B age to the C age will be what beta? B is like 2 by 5 times of C, yes or no? Yes. And we can say that B is twice of A, yes or no? So this is the way we can say like this. And over here also you can do the comparison, right? So if I write like what will be the definitions over here? If what will be the definition? The definition is like this. If A and B are two quantities of the same kind in same unit, then the fraction A by B is called the ratio of A to B, right? It is written as A is to B. This is how it is written, right? And A is to B, and this is thus the ratio of A to B or A is to B, right? A is to B, right? Okay. The quantities A and B are called terms of the ratio, or the ratio A is called antecedent, right? It is called antecedent, right? A is called, right? A is called first term or antecedent, right? Right? And B is called as what beta? B is called as what beta? Second term or consequent, right? Consequent, right? Consequent. Right? This is how it is written. For example, if I want to do the ratio of, like for example, if I want to do the ratio of rupees 8 to rupees 13, right? So this can be written as what beta? 8 ratio 13 or 8 by 13, right? Yes or no? Yes. Or I can give you the example of like the ratio of 5 hours to 11 hours, right? So this can be written as what beta? 5 ratio 11 or 5 by 11, right? Now, there are the certain things that you should know. Okay, I'll give you one question. Okay, I'll ask you one question. In a school, right? I'll give you very short. In a school, there are like in a school, the number of boys is equals to how much beta? The number of boys is how much beta? 1200. Number of girls is equals to how much beta? Number of girls is equals to how much? 800, right? So what is the first thing I'm asking you? That is the ratio of boys to the girls, right? Boys to girls, right? Second, I'm asking ratio of girls upon total, right? To total, right? Total student, right? So how you're going to do this? So let me change color once. So you can just write this. So how, what is the first part? It's asking upon the boys upon the girls, right? Boys upon girls. So it will be what? 1200 divided by what, beta? 800, I think. So this is much understandable. So this is what you will be doing. Division by 10 and division by 100. So this will be what? 12 by 8. Again, you will be dividing this what, beta? 4. So this will be what? 3:2, right? So boys are like 3 times and the girls is what, beta? 2 times, right? In the class, right? Like in the school, like if you take the total number of the students. So this means what, the number, if you're going to take the total number of the students. So total students will be how much, beta? Total students means what? Total students will be equals to how much, beta? 1200 plus 800, which is equals to how much, beta? 2000, right or not? So out of the 2000 means what? Three part, that is a three, that is third, three part is the what, the boys, and the two parts is what, beta? The girls. Now it says that the second part will be what? The ratios of the girls upon total, right? So girls upon total. Now what will be the value? So this will be what, beta? 800 divided by what, beta? 2000, right or not? So you can just do the division by 400. So this will be what, 2, and this will be what, 5. So this is what, 2 is to 5. Or either you can write it from here also. What will be the total? The total will be what, it will is a fraction. So it is what, 2 and 3. So means what, girls and boys will sum up to how much part? This will be equals to 5 part of it, right? And out of which the girls is what, 2 parts. So this will be 2 by 5. Now can you directly tell me the answer, the ratios of the boys to the total? So boys to the total will be what? The boys is what, 3 part, and the total is how much, beta? 5 part. So boys will be how much, beta? 3 by 5. That's it. So we just saw in the video that 3:2 means what? The boys are like, out of the total, boys are 3 part and the girls are what, beta? 2 part. That's all we have learned, right? Okay. So there are certain things that is basically you should be knowing all these things. I'll be taking a marker. The relation between the two quantities, and this thing you should keep in the mind. See, ratios are always comparison between the same unit, right? Same unit means what? Like you cannot compare. If I want to say compare this pen with the weight of this pen, can you compare? Is this comparison possible? Yes, this is like, this is written in different way, but yes, with the ratio it's not possible, right? You cannot compare the length of this pen with the compare the weight of this pen, right? So if I want to say the compare the length of this pen with the weight of my pen, no, it cannot be compared, right? So if I say like compare the cost of this pen and the like weight of this pen, can you do the comparison? No. So comparison has to be done with the same unit. Now one more thing I want to say you, like the comparison can also be done with two things. Like if this length, the length of this pen is given in like centimeters, right? And my height is given in like meters, right? So can I do the conversion? So always the comparison occurs between the same unit. So what I'll be doing, either I will converting this centimeter pen to meter, or I will be converting my height to the what, beta? Centimeters. So comparison is always done in the same units. Right now you're comparing the height of my, that's comparing my height, and the comparing the height of this pen. So you're comparing the length, right? So this is the same thing, but the unit can vary. Here this can be in the centimeter, I am in the meter. So both the measurements is the same or not, right? Both are measuring the what, lengths or not? Length are measured in what, beta? Centimeter, meter, millimeters, kilometers, yes or no? Distances are measured in this. If we say, if you want to measure the weights, weights are measured in what, beta? Grams, milligrams, kilograms, right? If you want to measure the like liters, yeah, water quantity, so you measure in what, beta? Liters, ml, right or not? Yeah. So these are the things. So the first thing it says that the ratio exists between the two quantities of the same kind. It has to be what, the same kind means what? It has to be like, as I said, this can be in the centimeter, I can be in the meter. So yes, or this can be in the centimeter, I can be in the centimeter. Yes. So this is how it has to be the measure, right? Now while comparing the two things, the unit should be the similar. That's what I said. Again, the unit has to be similar, either centimeter centimeter, or meter, right? There should be a significant order of the terms, right? Like significant order of the terms. If I say compare, like if I say compare A ratio B, and I said B ratio A, right? They are not equal. They are not equal, right? They are not equal. So you have to do, you have to be very specific about which, in which order you are asking, right? If I say I am 10 times this pen, right? So if I say this is the pen and this is Sakshi, right? So Sakshi pen is like beta 1 by 10, right? I am 10 times the pen. Or what will be the vice versa? It will be what, beta? Sakshi upon pen will be how much, beta? 10 upon 1. So are they same? No, they're the reciprocal of each other. They're not same. The specific order means what? Yes, Sakshi is 10 times of the pen, but they're not equal. Right? So it has to be in the same order. If what it is asking, that you have to write, right? So you are doing the comparison like I am, okay. So you can say that I am like here, you can say that Sakshi is 10, like pen is what 10, like I am 10, Sakshi is what 10 times lesser than the pen. Yes or no? And pen is what 10 times the Sakshi? Yes or no? It's like this. So these are the two comparisons. So take care of these things, right? So comparison of the two ratios can be performed if the ratios are equivalent like the like fractions, right? So comparison as we have done, like how you do the comparison like with the like fractions just now we have done. So we have learned what is we have learned about the equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions means what? If you have like an apple and divided into what beta 4 parts and taken one part of it. So this is equals to what beta 1 by 4. Now what you did, you divided the same other apple and divided into what beta 8 parts and taken 2 part of it. So this will be again what an equivalent fraction, that is 1 by 4 is equals to what 2 by. And this we have done in the previous classes also, right? One more important thing I would like to give you in the notice that ratios have no unit, right? Ratio have no units, have no units, right? Have no units. For example, if you want to compare like rupees 8 to rupees like 20, right? So if you're going to do that is rupees 8 upon rupees 20, so this will be what? Rupees and rupees cancels out, so this will be 20, so this is equals to what? 2:5 or 2 by 5. Yes or no? So this means what? You're comparing this 8, you're comparing this 8 to the 20, right? You're comparing this 8 rupees with the 20 rupees. So it is means what? That is 8 is what? 2 times of the like 20 rupees, right? So it's like this, okay? So that's now let's go. What is an equivalent ratios? Equivalent ratios are again, as I said, you divide this into what beta? As we did for the fraction, you divide this into what? One part. So this is what? 1 by 4. Now what do? You divide this into how many parts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait a minute. I'll just make this thing. So equivalent ratios are like equivalent fractions only, right? So what you do the division into what beta? 8 parts, right? So 1, 2, 3, and this is like 4 parts, right? So I'm taking this and I'm taking this. So this is equals to what? 2 by 8. Yes or no? The same thing I have divided, right? So when the ratios are equal, then the ratios are called as what beta? Equivalent fractions, right? So can I write this as divide by 2 and this is divide by 2, which is equals to 1 by 4. So are these two ratios equal? That is 1 by 4 is equals to what? 2 by 8. Can I write this as 3 by 12? Yes or no? So equivalent ratios can be obtained by multiplying or dividing the numerator and the denominator of the same number. This we have done. See, it's the same like the fraction. So we say that the ratio of 10 ratio 30 can be written as what beta? 10 ratio 30 can be written as what? 1 ratio 3. Or it can be written as what? 11 ratio 33 is equals to what beta? Again 1 ratio 3. So can I say that 10 upon 30, can 10 upon 30 is equals to 1 by 3 is equals to 11 by 33? Yes or no? And later on you will be learning that this and this, as we have seen in the video, that these three things are what beta? They are said to be what? This and this will be what? You can say these are in the proportion, right? We can say that this and this are in the proportion, and we can say that this and this also are in the proportion, right? So the ratio has to be what beta? Same, right? So that is the thing that you should know. Okay. Okay, let's do some questions on it, right? And we'll be doing the questions which has been done over there. Okay, so we'll be doing that question. Okay, I'll be giving you. Okay, question is what beta? Divide rupees 300 among Ravi and Isha in the ratio 2:3. So it means what? Ravi and Isha is going to get beta how much part? Ravi is going to get 3 parts out of it and Isha is going to get 2 parts of it. And the total part is how much beta? So you have divided the money into how many parts? The total part is equals to how much beta? Total parts you have done means like the money, it is like 5 parts, right? Total parts. Ravi is going to get 3 parts, Isha is going to get 2 parts. So total part will be what beta? Like 5 parts. Now, this 5 parts is equals to what? This 5 parts is equals to how much beta? That is rupees 300, right or not? This is like horse solving multiplied. So one part will be equals to how much beta? One part will be equals to what? 3000 by 5 or not, right or not? So this is equals to what? One part is equals to how much beta? This is equals to what? 60. So Ravi is going to get 3 part, right? Ravi will get what? How much beta? Ravi is going to get 3 parts. So how much part he will be getting? He'll be getting 3 into 60, which is equals to how much beta? 180 rupees, right? And Isha is 180 rupees. I don't agree. My bad. Yeah. And Isha is going to get how many part? Which is equals to 2 part. And then we say this as 2 into what? 60, which is equals to what beta? 120 rupees that Isha is going to get. That's it. You can just do this in mentally also. You have divided, like you want to divide 300 amongst the Ravi and Isha in the 2:3. So what you did that you are going to divide the money in like in the 5 parts, right? And the 5 parts is, and the 5 part is equals to what beta? 300 rupees. So one part will be equals to how much beta? 60 rupees. So Ravi is going to get the 3 part and Isha is going to get what beta? 2 parts. That's equals to 120 rupees, right or no? Yes. Okay. Okay, I'll give you next question. The ratio of the marks secured by Ayush and Amrita is 5:6, right? If Amrita secured 78 marks, what did Ayush score, right? What did Ayush score, right? Now, it's like this. You can just learn like this. Now, I'll change the color and explain it to you. Now, just see. It says that Ayush upon Amrita, right? They have scored 5:6, right? The total is 11. So we don't concern about 11. But it says that Amrita part was how much beta? Amrita was getting the 6th part. So Amrita 6 part, we can say that Amrita 6 part is equals to how much beta? 78 marks or not? Yes or no? Yes. Amrita's 6 part, that is Amrita is going to get what beta? 6 part. If the total marks were like, you were going to divide the whole entire marks into 11 parts. So it's not asking the total marks, right? And the total is not given. It says that Amrita is going to get the 6 part. That is, Amrita is going to 6 whatever the marks were, and which is equals to how much beta? 78. So one part, if you get the one part of the Amrita, so can you just multiply with the like Ayush or not? So one part of Amrita will be equals to what beta? 78 divided by 6 marks. Yes or no? Right? Which is equals to what beta? 13 marks. Yes or no? 13 marks. So what is the marks that Ayush got? So Ayush got beta, how many parts beta? 5 parts or not? So 5 parts is equals to, this is equals to what? 1 part? Yes or no? So this is equals to what? 5 into 13, which is equals to what? 65 marks. This is what Ayush have got. And what is the total marks? Like the out of the total? Okay, so this is the marks of the Ayush and this is the marks of the what beta? Amrita. And if you're going to add this part, so this will be what the total marks which is being divided between the two of them, right? So the total marks will be how much beta? The total marks like the total marks which is being distributed, right? So it's like that. It will be what beta? 78 plus 65, which is equals to what beta? 13, and this is equals to like 143, right? Yes or no? If you're going to divide this by the 11, you will get the same thing. You can just go back and here and get the answer, right? Okay. Okay, I'll give you one more question. Let's do this. It says that divide rupees 6,000 among like A, B, and C in the ratio 3:5:7, right? So what is the part that A is going to get? What is the part that A is going to get, right, beta? Just tell me. A is going to get how many parts? A, wait a minute, this is very light color. A is going to get beta how many parts? 3 parts? Yes or no? Right? B is going to get how many parts? That's 5 parts. Yes or no? And C is going to get how many parts? That is 7 parts. Right? What is the total part? You're going to divide that as 6,000 among A, B, C. So the total part will be equals to how much beta? Total part is equals to how much? Total part is equals to how much beta? 3 plus 5 plus 7, which is equals to how much beta? 15 parts. Right? So 15 parts will be equals to how much beta? Rupees 6,000, right or not? So one part will be equals to how much beta? 6,000 divided by 15, which is equals to how much beta? 400 rupees, right? So one part is equals to how much beta? 400 rupees. So how much A will get? A is going to get beta 3 parts, right? So 3 parts means what? 3 parts, right? So 3 into what? 4,400, which is equals to what? 1,200 rupees he will be getting, right? B is getting to what beta? 5 parts. That's 5 into 400, where he is going to get how much rupees? That is 2,000 rupees, right? And C is going to get 7 parts. That is equals to what beta? 400, which is equals to what rupees? 2,800, right? So if you're going to add it up, it will be equals to what beta? 6,000 or not. Now you have done the division. Now you can do with your siblings also, right? So if your parents give you a pocket money, you can also do the division. I am bigger than you, I'm elder than you, so I'll take more money and let's divide the money, right? So let us suppose if I have 100 rupees and if I said I am elder than you, so I will take more than 50%. So I need six part of mine and the 4 part will be him. Yeah, 3 part will be mine and 2 parts will be him. So how much money I'll be getting? I'll be getting 60 rupees or not, and he will be getting what? 40 rupees. So this is the way you can always do all these things, right? And let's do. mm, okay. There is like one word problem over here. It's given. It says that John weighs this much kgs, and if it reduces his weight in the in 5:4 point is reduced weight. That is what is like John's weight is how much beta? Like see, it says that John weighs 6.5 kgs. He reduces his weight in the ratio 5:4 and find his reduced weight. Right. So it is how much beta? He This is his reduced weight. So originally he was like 5 parts were equals to how much beta? 5 parts were equals to what? 65.7. Yeah. So one part will be now it's like written with the X. You can go with the X instead of writing parts. You can just go with the X. We have done the algebra. You can do like that, right? So this is equals to what? 65.7 divided by what? 5, right? Now his reduced weight will be how much beta? His reduced weight is equals to how much beta? This is equals to what? 4 part. That is equals to what? 65.7 divided by 5. So he did the calculations over here. So it's 52.656 kg. That's it. Yeah, that's the how you have done. Okay. Let's do one more question over here. It says that the two numbers are in the ratio 3:2. If 2 is added to the first and the 6 is added to the second number, then the ratio is equals to what beta? 4:5. Find the number, right? So it's like this. What you do in some such type of questions, right now you don't know in which part it's going to divide, right? So it says that this is a number A and this is the number B, right? Now it says that the number A was how many parts beta? So number A was equals to what beta? 3 parts, right? And B was equals to how many parts? That was he was 2 parts, right? Now, what was the condition says? Now, according to question, ATQ means what? According to question, if 2 is added to the first, so A will become what beta? 2 parts, sorry, 3 parts plus 2, right? And B will become what beta? 2 parts. It will become what beta? 2 parts plus 6, right? Now it says that the number becomes what beta? This is equals to what beta? 4/5, right? So this is equals to so what you have to do now, let's better you solve it. Like what you do, like write parts as X, right? I'm just writing this as part as X, right? So What will this will become? Beta, this is equals to what? 3x plus 2, and this is equals to what? Beta, 2x plus 6, right? Now it says that a by b, which was equals to what? Beta, 3x plus 2, and this becomes 2x plus 3. So it means what? This ratio is equals to what? Beta, 4 by 5, right or not? Yes, this is a good question, like in a higher level, a little bit. So we say that now, as I have taught you in the little bit of the algebra also. So what you have to do, as this 5 is in the denominator, so what happened, this will be getting in the multiplication over here. So what we'll be writing, so 5 into 3x plus 2, and this is equals to what? Beta, 4 into 2x plus 6, right? Okay. Now, using the distributive property, it will be what? 5 into 3x will be what? Beta, 15x plus 5 into 10 will be what? 5 into 2 is 10. And 4 into 8 is what? Beta, 8x. And this is 4 into plus 24, right? Now, what you do, now you do the transposition. So 15x minus of 8x is equals to 24 minus of 10. So this is equals to what? Beta? Yeah, 7x is equals to what? Beta, 14. So x is equals to how much? 2. Okay, there was a slide. No, there's not a slide. Okay, so x is equals to 2, that is equals to part. So how much money would find the numbers? So the numbers will be how much, beta? The numbers will be how much? This is like little bit on the tougher end, because if you know this part, if you know the solving, then it will be helpful, right? So a is equals to what, beta? 3x, right? So which is equals to what? 3 into 2, which is 6, and b is equals to what? 2x, which is equals to 2 into 2, which is equals to what? 4. This is how you'll be getting. These are the two numbers, right? uh, let's do the questions, which I'll be giving you one question. You don't know the solving parts, right? Okay, what happened, basically you should be knowing little bit of these type of solvings, and this will help you. So I'll just brief you a little bit over here. It says that you have to do the transposition. So what are the rules? If not learned, so please, what are the rules? It says that in the algebra, this is basically in the part of algebra, this is LHS and this is what, beta? RHS. LHS means what? Left hand side, and RHS means what? Right hand side. So if there is a positive, it becomes over here negative, right? Negative becomes what, beta? Positive, right? And the multiplication become what, beta? Division. And division become what, beta? Multiplication, right? So you have to follow the rules. So it says over here, I'll just solve this again for you. It says over here, what was the statement? It says that over here, uh, 2x by, yeah, it says that 2x, 3x plus 2, 3x plus 2 upon 2x plus 6 is equals to how much? 4 by 5, right? Yeah, this is 4 by 5. Now you have to find the x. Now what happens? See, you have to find x. So what you have to do, see, this is in the denominator, right? 2x plus 6 is in the denominator and 5 is in the denominator. So this is in the division. So what you will go, if you're going to transpose this will become what, beta? Division will become multiplication. So this is equals to what? 3x plus 2 is equals to what? 4 by 5 into 2x plus 6, right? Now, this 5 is in the again in the division, so it will go in the multiplication over here. So it will be what, beta? 3x plus 2 is equals to what? 4 into 2x plus 6, right? Now, what happened? You have to do the distributive property, right? So 3 into 5 into 3 is what, beta? 4. 5 into 3 is what, beta? 15x, right? And plus 5 into 2 is what, beta? Plus 10. Now this is equals to what? Again, you will do the distributive property. 4 into 2x will be what, beta? 8x. And 4 into 6 will be equals to 24. Now you have to find the x. So what happened? This 8 is what? In the plus, and so if we are transposing to the left hand side, it will become what, beta? Negative. So 15x minus of 8x is equals to what? Now 24, you are just keeping this over here and just transposing this 8, 10 over here. This is positive, so it will become what, beta? Negative. So it is 7x is equals to what, beta? 40. 7x means what? 7 into x means what? X, 7 is in the what? Multiplication, so it will come in the division. So x is equals to what? 14 by 7, which is equals to x is equals to 2. This is how we solve, right? Okay, now let's do the question. What was the question that were there? Just a second, let me just take out the question. Okay, the question were, hold on. Okay, let me just take out the question. It says that the age of the Kim, I'll write down the question for you. Yeah. Okay, let's do one more question over here as we discuss. What was the question? It says that the question was age of Kim is twice the age. These are like little bit tougher end question. Age of Tim, right? First question, after 5 years, the ratio of age of Tim to Kim will be 2:3. Find their present age. Okay, now just see over here. No, this is the question. Okay, it says that now, beta, if my age, like let us suppose your age is 10 and my age is 25, right? So after 5 years, what will be your age? Your age will be how much, beta? 20. It's 10 now. So your age will be 15 and my age will be what? 30. Now, what will be my present age? From my present age, what was my age 5 years ago? So you were 5 years, I was 20 years, right? So this is how it is being done, right? So we say this over here that as the age we do after 5 years means what? It will be plus 5, right? So it says that the age of the Kim is twice the age of the Tim, right? So can I say that Kim is equals to 2 times the Tim? Yes or no? Right? So can I say this? This is the first thing we got, right? After 5 years, so I'll just write this as K is equals to 2 into T, right? This is the age, right? So Malite, let present age will be like with the K is 10, the present age of Kim is equals to K, right? And present age of Tim is equals to what, beta? T, right? Now it says that after 5 years. So after 5 years, after 5 years, after 5 years, it will be how much, beta? So Tim will equals to how much, beta? The Tim age will be how much? The Tim age will be equals to what? Present age plus 5, T plus 5, right? And the Kim's age will be how much, beta? Kim's age will be equals to what? K plus 5, yes or no? Now K is equals to what, beta? 2 plus T or not? This is like on a different end. So 2T plus 5, right or not? Yes. Now it says that the ratios of there will become what? 2:5, 2:3. So what is according to question? It says that the ratios of the Tim to Kim, right? Tim to Kim, right? So Tim upon Kim new age is equals to what, beta? 2:3. So Tim age is how much, beta? 3T by 5, right? This is T by 5 and this is equals to what, beta? 2T by 5, right? This is equals to 2T by 5. Now I will do the same thing as we did above. We'll do the cross multiplication. So it will be what? 3 times plus 5 is equals to 2 times of 2T plus 5, right? So this is equals to what? Again, you are just going to multiply. So it is 3T. Again, you multiply. This is plus 15. Right, you again multiply, this is equals to 40, and this again you multiply, this is equals to plus 10. Now do the transposition. So this is 40, so this is what? 15 minus of 10, and this is in the positive, so it will become negative. So 40 minus of 3T. So 5 is equals to T. So present age of Tim will be what? Present age of Tim is equals to how much, beta? 5 years, right? And present age of Kim is equals to how much, beta? Kim is equals to 2 times of T, which is equals to what? 2 into 5, which is equals to what? 10. Kim is equals to what? 10 years. That's all, right? So hopefully you have understood, like I have done like a little bit on the higher end of the questions also, and a little bit on the tough and or easy questions also. So hopefully you have understood what are the ratios, what are the difference between the ratios and the fractions we have seen in the videos, and what is an equivalent fractions. And then we have seen like easy questions as well as the tough questions. And please practice this on your like from your school book, and then you practice from the Ask IITian book. Then you will get a better thing that it is, right? So the questions over here from the ratios and proportions are made to be tough, and if you have any doubt, please ask it on the PDF. That's a batch discussion forum, and you can ask with your respective teacher in the class. Thank you so much, Beta.